What's up, J-Fam? What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, I wanted to talk about suffering. I want to talk about suffering. I just wanted to, talk to you guys, make some content, put it out there on my YouTube, things have been going on, and I want you guys to know about it. First and foremost, I just wanted to talk about what's been going on in my life, because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I cut my hair, by the way. I need to get another haircut. It's been like a few weeks anyways. I don't get the fade anymore. But yeah, no, I just want to talk about what I've been going through. So, well, first of all, in June, I graduated from high school. Graduated from high school in June. My 18th birthday was in June 28th. I had my 18th birthday after I graduated June 1st. And life was normal. I was just living life. July came around. Had a great 4th of July, went to the fair, with the boys. Life was normal. And out of nowhere, at the end of July 26th, I think, I wasn't feeling good. I went to work. I was having like diarrhea, I was nauseous, and I was like, whatever. I just got through work. It was like 4 hours left of work. Finished up work, went home. It was getting a little worse. So I didn't go to work the next few days, and then the weekend hit. And, I thought it was just a stomach bug at first. I couldn't really eat anything at all. Not tea, I couldn't drink anything, I couldn't do anything, put anything in my stomach. It would just make me nauseous. It would just make everything worse. And so, the weekend passed by, the Monday comes around, and I'm able to eat like dinner on Sunday, Monday, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was doing better. And then all of a sudden at midnight, my stomach started like rumbling a lot. Like it didn't feel good. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't think I could go to work tomorrow. And you know how moms are. First she's like, yeah, all right, go to bed. All right. And I'm like, no, this is serious. And she's like, what do you mean? She came in, and I was just laying down, and it was just bubbling. My stomach was just bubbling. And then I just felt like it just hit me. And I was like, I'm gonna throw up. And so I ran to the bathroom. I did throw up. I didn't throw up, but it was really bad. Like I was sitting on the toilet having diarrhea. The nausea was so bad, the acid reflux, I got a gag out. I went, ugh. And then that's it. I didn't throw up, thank God. And I can't really throw up. I got my stomach tied when I was 4 months old, because I had similar symptoms I'm having now when I was a baby. I couldn't eat, I had a G-tube in, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was just throwing up everything. So I got my stomach tied, so I can't really throw up. I only threw up one time in my life when I was 7, and that's it. Anyway, Monday, 1 a.m., Tuesday morning, 1 a.m. I'm on the toilet, feeling awful. I was about to pass out. I was cooked. I was so cooked. It was really bad. And so my mom took me to the ER, gave me fluids, whatever, gave me Benadryl, Reglan, Zofran all at once. Made things 10 times worse. I would never wish this on my worst enemy. This experience is awful. Yeah, and so I was just laying in my the hospital bed in the ER. And I was looking up at the TV, and Daystar came on. I don't know if y'all know what Daystar is, but it's basically like a Christian, church service type of network. And so Daystar came on, but it wasn't a service. They were running it like an ad type thing. There was 4 of them there, I think, or 3, and they were selling a book on healing, and it was about God's healing. And they were selling a book. And they were saying, go buy the book, blah, blah, blah. They were talking about the book. And they were just saying, through the screen on the TV, I'm being so serious. God has spoken through me, or God has spoken to me throughout this whole experience, by the way. So they were speaking on the TV, and they were like, whoever is watching this right now, God is telling me that, something's wrong, mentally, physically. I don't know what it is, but it could be both. It could be one or the other. But I just want to let you know that God is a healing God, and he will heal you. So they said it on the TV, and I'm just laying there. I'm cooked. I'm like, oh, please, God, please. And I heard that, and I was like, thank you, God, thank you. And that was the first time, not ever, but that was the first time during this experience that I heard God speak to me, and he spoke to me many more times before. I'll get to that. And so, finally it all like kind of subsided. It calmed down, and I went home like 7 in the morning Tuesday. Long story short, cut it up a little bit. It keeps getting worse and worse. They thought it was just a stomach bug. I was telling everybody it's not just a stomach bug. Like I feel something like in my organs. Like I feel it, like I feel, this doesn't feel like a stomach bug. It felt like it was terrible. I was laying in bed. I couldn't do anything, couldn't get on my computer, couldn't go to work, couldn't talk to my friends, I couldn't eat, couldn't drink, couldn't do nothing. I was laying in my bed, couldn't get out of bed, nothing, not lift a finger. It was bad. It was just bad. I was just nauseous and stomach pain, and then finally I got admitted to the hospital. This is the first admission out of the 3, by the way. So I go to the hospital first time. Basically, they're just like, it's just a stomach bug that just kind of messed up your stomach for a little while, and it's going to take a few months to get better. And then they sent me home. But they did schedule a colonoscopy. This was in August now, and it actually gets, worse again, where I have to go in early to the hospital because I was sick. So I just went in early because I had a colonoscopy appointment, but I went in like 2 days earlier, like that day early. I had to take laxatives to actually get the colonoscopy. Chugged like 8 cups of laxative liquid. That made everything worse. It was awful. So drinking it, had the colonoscopy, and they found nothing. They said it was clean as a whistle. Ew! There's nothing they found in a colonoscopy. Nothing. No ulcers, no cancer, no Crohn's disease, no nothing. By the way, the first time I went to the hospital, I got all these tests. The second time I went to the hospital, they tested me again. There's no E. coli, there's no bacteria poison, there's no virus, there's no COVID, there's no mono, there's nothing, no parasites. They test me for everything, MRI scans, nothing. They saw a little inflammation in the colon at MRI scan, but it was like, whatever. I mean, I'm having a lot of diarrhea, that was probably why. So some inflammation, and they saw some inflammation, slight inflammation in my throat in the colonoscopy, endoscopy, but that was from all the acid reflux. So like, there's nothing else. They're looking through everything, nothing. And I leave the hospital feeling awful. They just sent me on my way, still not feeling good. And they kind of just said it was all in my head, and you have brain gut disease, which is basically when your brain is messing up with your stomach, and it's all out of whack, and you just gotta breathe. You gotta do this breathing technique, and it'll get better. By the way, they just self-diagnosed me with the brain gut disease that they thought I had. I thought it was like untestable. I'm like, oh, brain gut disease, like my brain, I'm cooked forever. My brain is cooked, like how do you fix that? There's a test for it. There's a test for brain gut disease to see if you have it. They didn't test me. They just said I had it, and then they sent me home when they could have. So not really doing their due diligence here to help me get better. So a week after I leave the hospital, I then have one of the worst traumatizing moments of my life, where I'm sitting on the toilet for an hour, bleeding my life away.
What is this?
Bro, tell me why. Straight water, black water coming out of me, like for an hour straight. I'm so serious. Run to the bathroom, black water. Just, bro, I'm sorry to give you, it is graphic, but it's what happened to me, okay? So, black water just pouring out for an hour straight. I thought I had a symbiote. I thought I was like Tom Hardy in Venom 1. I got a parasite. I thought maybe there's a demon in me. Like, I'm like, dude, what is going on? So I call my mom. She comes home from work. That's when I go to the 3rd admission in the hospital. So, blood for an hour straight, black, I felt like I was dying. This is when my stomach, for some reason, started to swell up in the upper left side of my stomach, right here, kind of. A little right below the left rib cage, kind of just like right there. Upper left abdominal side, it starts swelling up, and it just swells. There's pain there, and it feels like pressure, build up pain. It feels like gas, like I feel gas like moving through my stomach, like there's like a worm in there, and that's what it feels like. Never bled again. They never found the bleed, by the way. Thanks to modern science, Dr. America, whatever you want to call it. I went to the hospital 3rd time, and this time they're like, you know what? We're going to get to the bottom of this. We got you. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Spoiler alert. They didn't get to the bottom of it. And they didn't care. They lied. So what happened was I was there for like a week and a half. They tested me for more things, all negative. Did an MRI, nothing. Medical scan, whatever, nothing. You know, another hospital person came over from the hospital next door. You know, ultrasound on my liver, nothing. You know, they were looking at my levels saying, oh, well, all the levels of my organs are fine, so it's not like a pancreas thing or whatever, or liver, or kidney, or, you know, or gallbladder, or whatever, because all your levels look fine. But they never truly, like, you know, went in depth, and they were going to do a scan. This is when I met the worst doctor of my life, by the way, in this third admission. They were going to do a capsule study, and my main GI doctor was like, yeah, I want you to do a capsule study. This on-floor doctor, a capsule study, basically, take a pill, it's like a camera, it sees my small intestines, because they saw everything else in the MRI, but my small intestine. They still don't know what my small intestine looks like. And I had an upper GI bleed, which is why the blood was black, and that's where it would be like small intestine, like upper GI, like tract, you know, somewhere in there, possibly. And so, you know, I think, and I'm not a doctor, I don't remember, but, you know, a capsule scan would have been nice, you know, get all the tests, let's just test me for whatever, because I can't live like this. But instead, this doctor says, I'm being so serious. This doctor tells me, we're not going to do a capsule scan. There's no more further testing to do for me. The swelling on my left side is normal, and it's because I was skinny. That's because you could see the swelling, because I was super skinny. And he was fat, so he hit his stomach. He was like, yeah, if I was as skinny as you, you'd be able to see food going through my stomach. And, you know, you see swelling, because we all have swelling, and I'm just too fat. You can't see it.
Keep yapping, man.
The swelling would happen whether I eat or don't eat. It would just happen, number one. Number two, there was pain there. He told me, I believe there's no pain where your swelling is in your stomach.
Is this serious?
He said that 3 times, multiple times throughout the week. He said, I believe you're having no pain where you say you're having pain in your left side of your stomach, where there's swelling. You know, we try to get a new doctor, we try to get a new team, but at that point, they could tell we were like trying to do that. And so they basically kicked me out. They literally came in a few days after the week there. They came in, they're like, all right, yep, literally walked in and was like, all right, yeah, I think it's time to get you home. Let's go. You ready to go home? I think it's time today. I'm going to get you home. We're out of here. Meanwhile, I'm in bed, nauseous, in pain. Oh, go home. Like, yo, help me. Help me. Help me.
Help me. Help me.
Bro, what is going on? So I'm like, no, like, I gotta, can I at least stay another day, whatever? They're like, okay, fine. So basically, they kicked me out. Oh, by the way, during that time, they shoved a NG tube up my nose.
No offense, but you ugly as shit.
And it would go into my nose, through my stomach, so I could get extra feeds, because I went to 106 pounds because I was so sick I couldn't eat. Stable, you know, I've been hitting the gym, I was getting some muscle on, trying to get me weight. Got sick, went down to 106. And so that doctor that said I didn't have pain in my stomach, he said the reason why I was sick was because I was underweight. And so he shoved the NG tube on my NG.
Eric is now stuck on the letter M. He desperately tries to break the cycle. This is now Eric's 4th attempt.
NG tube up my nose to get more feeds constantly, where I'm too nauseous to eat. So more feeds, I can barely get feeds in anyways, because my stomach is messed up. So how about you fix my nausea and my stomach issue, and then I'll have a NG tube to get my weight up. I can't get my weight up if my stomach is still messed up and I can't eat. It's not gonna work.
You smart. You loyal.
Ended up coming out a few weeks later by accident, but never put it back in because it's useless. Might as well just eat normally or whatever, because I can't get those extra feeds because my stomach is messed up, you know? I wasn't sick because I was underweight. I was underweight because I was sick. We fixed the issue, why I was sick, I'll get my weight back up. Simple.
Wow.
But they couldn't find nothing. It's December now. Almost 5 months. No answers. I went to follow up with my GI doctor. He said, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do for you. I have nothing. Primary care doctor doesn't know what's going on. No one knows. My heart doctor doesn't know. My neurological doctor doesn't know. I'm trying to think outside the box so much. I'm like, okay, I've seen so many videos of this where like people have these stomach issues, whatever, and it turns out they had a tumor in their brain this whole time. So I'm thinking I have a tumor in my brain. I think I have a tumor, something. Because not only that, I'm waking up with migraines. I have head fog. My vision's like blurry some days. I can't see. I can't think straight. My memory's terrible. Guys, this is bad. I'm like, yo, can I get an MRI of my brain? So I'm gonna try to do that. But I have no options. I thought I had Lyme's disease or tick, because remember when I said I went paintballing for my birthday? My friend had like 7 ticks on him. I couldn't find any on me. I was taking another antibiotics they just gave me because they were like, oh, maybe it's bacteria, we don't know. Give it to me, made things a little better, but I still have the lingering issues, nausea, stomach pain, swelling, still happens every day, bloating, So I have no answers. So, that's pretty much going on in my life. Sorry to put you on blast, but my sister, also during this time of me being sick for almost 5 months, went into heart failure for a second time. First time when she was like 14, she got a heart transplant, and she's going through it again. 25 now. So, yeah, sister's heart failing, right now in the hospital. I couldn't go to college in September because of this, because of my sickness. My sister's kidneys are also failing now too. It's been crazy. It's been crazy 5 months, But throughout this time, God has been speaking to me. Countless times I've seen so many things, heard so many things that, it was from the Lord. I know it was. And actually, my relationship with God is so much stronger because of me being sick. I had nothing else to do. I read the Bible. I finished the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I finished the book of Jacob. I finished the book of Romans. I'm reading the book of Acts right now, and I want to read the Old Testament, then all the New Testament, and then go back and read all the Old Testament. That's why I'm reading the book of Acts now. I jumped to Romans because I love Romans. Finished Romans, now I'm reading the book of Acts. And throughout this whole time, my relationship with Christ has really strengthened. It really has. And I thank God for it, I thank God for, I've gotten a little better. I know I was ranting, but I've gotten a little better now. I've been able to actually go do DoorDash, make some money, do something, go out with my friends a little more, get out of the house, get out of bed. The issues aren't as bad as they were a few weeks ago. Thank God, but they still come back, they still linger. I'm healthy, I'm feeling better, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm still not college ready, honestly. I'm not, but I've just been praying that God heals me, heals my sister, and helps us get through this, because it's been tough. But I'm gonna cut it a little short. But you might all think this is unfair. You guys might be going through stuff, your family members dying, something like that. I know how you feel. I know how it is. It's hard, and honestly, it doesn't seem fair. My sister going through all this, she's suffering so much. It's not fair. It doesn't seem fair, and it's not. But me going through what I went through is not fair. I could have gone to college, Granted, I wouldn't have strengthened my relationship with the Lord as much, so that is a plus. I've been reading, and very much in my Word. I've gotten so much wisdom and knowledge from me being sick. It's been awesome. Praise God. But it's not fair, right? I don't think it's fair. But you know what? It's not fair as well. What truly wasn't fair was Jesus Christ dying on that cross for us. He didn't just die straight away. He suffered. They accused him for him doing something which he didn't do. He didn't do anything. He'd never done anything wrong. He's sinless, man. Instead, he got traded for someone else that was a murderer in prison, and he got put in his place on the cross instead. He got beaten, his beard ripped out, whipped 39 times, because the torture method by the Romans, they used, if they whipped someone 40 times, they would die. So they whipped Jesus 39 times to get him on the brink of death, to torture him even more. Beat him, spit on him, rip out his beard. The whips they used, they had glass shards, rocks, sharp objects. They would whip him. It would like latch onto his flesh, and they'd rip it, and they'd rip off his flesh. I was listening to another guy. He had more things to say about it. Like his back was like exposed, like opened up. His spine was like opened up, kind of. And when he was nailed to that cross, it went through his, obviously through his wrist, through his ankles, and like it pinched his nerves. And so he's just suffering, so much bleeding out everywhere. 30 like lashes all over his body, flesh chunks ripped out. You could see his bones, his muscles bleeding out everywhere. Suffered for 9 hours or 6 or 9 hours on the cross. I think it was 9 or 6. I'm not too sure. I don't remember. But he couldn't breathe hanging on the cross like that, so he had to lean up to breathe. And every time he leaned up, he was on a splintery cross, so his open spine and muscle and back like rubbed against the splintered wood every time he tried to breathe. And he's just suffering so much. He had to carry a 300-pound cross up a hill, flesh ripped out of him, bleeding. He didn't deserve that. And that wasn't fair. He suffered the worst out of all of us, And even then, God literally turned his face away from Jesus because he also took upon all our sin on the cross for the sacrifice. So God couldn't be near anything or in the presence of anything that was that sinful, so he turned his face away from Jesus. So he was truly alone. That was the first time he never felt the Lord's presence, his Father's presence. He was truly suffering. But when we suffer, at least we can have the presence of God with us because of Jesus. Jesus can be with us when we're suffering. We can pray to him. He can give us his peace and his love. We find his peace when in our prayer, and he can deliver us from our sufferings. And Jesus didn't get that. He had to sit there and cry out to God, God, why have you forsaken me? Father, why have you forsaken me? He prayed 3 times to God, asking if there's any other way he could go through this without suffering. And God didn't answer him, because God not answering him was his answer. There was no other way. And so he had to follow through with it. So it's not fair. And that teaches us life isn't fair because of the sin in this world. Sin causes death and suffering because of us. And so life's not going to be fair. We're going to suffer. But instead of cursing God, instead of hating God, we have to think about it like this, Our suffering helps us grow closer to Christ because he suffered too. It helps us understand him more. So I just wanted to say, if you're going through anything in life, don't let it bring you down. Trust in the Lord. It's hard. But we saw Job, the book of Job. I finished the book of Job too. That's a good example of how you can question God righteously. He didn't curse God, but he still questioned him. He was, God, why is this happening? In the book of Psalms, there's so many examples of suffering that we could take and look at and use to help ourselves through our suffering. We could look at Jesus and see how he suffered. He didn't deserve that. What did he do when he was suffering? He said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. He had mercy on us for, whipping him and doing all this stuff, evil things. The thief on his left got saved right there and went to heaven, I'm rambling on a little bit, but yeah, so that's basically what's been going on. That's why I haven't really been able to post content too much. I want to get my channel monetized. I want to start streaming more. Fortnite OG just came out. I want to be streaming some gaming, doing some Fortnite, maybe some Bible streams, Bible study streams. But yeah, just know that God is there for you. You just need to call upon him, because he will help you. He knows how it feels. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, J-Fam.